Hello and welcome to today's podcast. My name is Melissa Robbins. Super excited to be here today. I say that every time, but I am really excited to be here to share some valuable insights from Anna from House of Cart. So welcome along, Anna. I'm so happy and glad that you could join us here today.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me on board. It's always good to chat everything Shopify, my number one topic.
Yes, and as I think we talked about before, like I haven't got this huge list of questions because I know that you just are the expert in Shopify, and that's probably how I'll introduce you. Obviously, you are a Shopify expert and you work in building websites, running email marketing for people, and really setting up everything for them, right? Is that your sort of go-to, like what your
Absolutely.
expertise?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've been around for 6 years now. We kind of evolved from I had my own children's clothing label, then moved that, online from markets, and then obviously onto Shopify and found a bit of a passion for design and build. So
Mhm.
I've done the full circle, started the brand, started the clothing label, selling online, dealing with public, dealing with retail, and then finally evolved into Shopify, which is, yeah, an absolute passion. We've been around, as I say, for 6 years. So we've got a small team around us. And our main focus is, females in business, startups, people that are just getting up and going, or they've been going for a while and struggling to get traction, struggling to get sales. And, a lot of the people we work with, they just don't know what they don't know. They know where they want to get to, but they don't know how to actually get there and what those steps are in the beginning, and how important those foundations are to get in place. So, we're generally working with, as I say, it's anywhere from someone who's not wanting to go back to corporate, wants to get into a business, or they've got an amazing idea that they just want to get up and going and start earning income for the family, and,
Mhm.
be able to step back from being, in a role in another place where they're not happy to actually running their own business and making money from the shop. So yeah, it's really satisfying to watch brands evolve from an idea right through to then making, profit every month and being able to sustain the business and stay away from going back to the corporate world or whatever their role was in the
Yeah,
previous life.
absolutely. Yeah.
And there
And
is
that's
so
the
much
thing.
opportunity now. That's the thing. It's,
Yeah, there
you
is
don't have to
really.
be stuck in the job.
Yeah, and it's about I think as you say, like people making those choices for whether it's time freedoms or whether it's lifestyle and just being in control of what they're doing and they, can direct it where they want it to go.
Yep, absolutely. And we've seen so many people come from polar opposite careers, and, they've gone and got a uni degree in X, Y, and Z,
Mm.
and then they've come into running an online store, and it's a game changer. They're starting right back at the bottom, not understanding technology, not understanding all the fundamentals, but that's part of the fun. It's obviously a lot of stress and tears, but it's learning a whole new ecosystem, which is
Mm.
also very exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. And I always talk about to people as well, like whatever you learn here, you can take it into whatever else you're doing too. Like it's,
It
it's that
is.
journey that everything adds together and it then leads to something else later on too. So there's
Absolutely.
always, as yours has, in terms of
It
you had your own. I
evolves.
had a children's wear brand as well, by the way.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, previously, many years ago now. And
Yeah.
all right, so in terms of Shopify, now I obviously, well, not obviously to you, but I always promote Shopify and everything I do in my programs, I sort of talk about how to use it in the Shopify because I do think it is the best e-commerce brand, platform.
Platform.
And clearly you do too. But can you just give me a few reasons why that is and why you believe that it is the best platform?
Yeah, and I say this a lot when I'm talking on sales calls and things like that. As a business, we only work on Shopify.
Yeah.
We don't, and Klaviyo. Like, we don't work on any other platforms. We don't work on Woo. We don't work on Squarespace. We don't work on MailChimp. We don't work on Active Mailer. We choose these two platforms because they are designed and built from the ground up for e-commerce.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't a secondary idea that came along.
Yeah.
Working with WordPress and then, hey, we're going to sell online. It's designed and built and is being optimized and scaled every day, by the founders for e-commerce. And they're just cutting edge, especially when we look at Shopify and Klaviyo going together, they're a perfect pair. They're designed for each other. They work so seamlessly together. And that's why we back both. And as I say, we only work on those two platforms. Shopify is the one thing I love about Shopify. You've got massive brands on there, massive
Mhm.
brands on there.
Yeah.
But then you also have, like, one of my oldest clients, she's 73 and she has her Shopify store, doesn't use Facebook, doesn't use Instagram, but she's making money from Shopify and her store, and it's designed around anybody at any level can get themselves online and get a store up and going.
Yeah.
And then again, as we say, we've got these massive brands, the Kylie Jenners of the world selling their products on Shopify. So it's, it's robust enough to meet every sort of person that's going to come along. But it's definitely where you need to be in terms of features, functionality, optimization, and growth in terms of getting your store up and going and scaling it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I always talk about, the simplicity of the analytics and the dashboard, what you can see, the reporting that you can get out of it. Like, you have to sort of, if you're going into a Squarespace or you're going into another one, you sort of like, where is that information? Where do I find all that? And it's just not clear. And it's not easy for you to track and check those, KPIs that you sort of want to know what's going on in your business.
It's designed for anyone with any skill knowledge to be able to go in there and understand, the numbers, look at what's going on, pull some reports at a very basic level. And, the support center in there, the help dictionary is just next level in terms of you literally type in what am I looking for, and there it is. So there's a lot of, easy ways to navigate things that have previously been quite challenging for people to understand in terms of their business, especially coming from something, say WordPress or, Squarespace, where the functionality is just not there.
Yeah. And then in terms of as well, like the ease of getting started with a free template, like they've got a great option to get going. Plus, you can obviously also have really, first of all, either obviously buy templates that are there, but then also customize so much as well. So it's got that, as you say, variety between just get going and then start to sort of, customize and change or tweak. Or I'm sure you have lots of people who started themselves and then they go, can you help me make it better?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing, you've got a free theme on there. You can get up and going for very minimal cost, more on the time side. So if you've got the time to sit down and understand and learn what's going on, and then you have to, as you say, we have got a lot of clients that's where they started. Then they come to us a year later. We've, now got to this point and, we're struggling with X, Y, and Z, and now we need to level it up and change things up, and then it can evolve as it goes. But at any level, you can enter in and be able to at least start selling very, very quickly. Yeah, and it's, the frameworks of what's in there is just so user-friendly for people to be able to get in, plug and play, pop your products in, pop your information in, and off you go, and then scale it from there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do see on the groups, and I've mentioned this before, it sounds like I stalk them, but I do look at them occasionally, like, the Facebook groups that are out there, you know what I'm talking about, I'm sure. And you hear people or see people say it's just too cost prohibitive. What do you say to that? Like, what's your response to that?
Look, and it's, I don't know how many times I've said this, and it's a very old school saying, but it is true. You do get what you pay for. Yeah. Let's just be real. And it's the same when we talk about the free themes versus the paid themes. Mm-hmm. It's that same conversation. Yes, you can find cheaper, but does it do everything that you need it to do? And in the long run, where is it going to put you? In terms of going with a cheaper option, going with something different, versus the cost of getting straight into where you need to be to start with, going from there. So, I always say, you do get what you pay for. And at the end of the day, if you are really that tight on budget that you feel like, the basic Shopify is out of reach, something's wrong with the business model. And, you maybe need to think about what's actually going on, because that should just be something you've got to key in to your numbers to be able to cover, like we all do with all our technical platforms that we use. It's just a fee of, and at the end of the day, also think about back in the day where we wanted to start a store.
I was just going to say that.
Mine was shop.
Mine was 30,000, my website. And we started.
This is the thing. And it also goes in terms of even further back from that, you're wanting to start a business, you want to sell things, you had to lease the space. You had to go and do that. Nowadays, you can pay the $50, $60 a month, have an online store that can access the world. Yeah. You've got to kind of look at it on the bigger picture about what are you trying to achieve, who you're going to be able to reach.
Where do you want to be, or where do you want it to be in time as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So, it's like anything, the cost of things is going up, and yes, Shopify is going up, but everything else is going up. So, and you've just got to stay relative to that.
My platform for my courses and memberships is $197 a month. Like, it's, that's a lot more than
my tech stack's adding up there too, and I calculate it each month and I look at how we're going, and unfortunately it's all in US dollars, and it's a bit of a killer. But that's the cost of doing business. It's the cost of scaling.
It's the cost of doing business. So, and I say to people, like, you only need one more sale because you're on Shopify, and it's paid for itself. Like seriously, like and the way that you can convert on Shopify, all the things that we'll talk about in a minute, your cart, the ease of use, the customer journey of people understanding how to use Shopify point of sale, or not shop point of sale, the checkout. It's just you're going to get more sales because you're on Shopify.
Yeah. And, having those foundations in place at that level already when you kickstart things, if you're not at that point and then you're using something that's subpar, it's going to take you longer to get where you need to be. So you're better off just jumping straight in there, getting the foundations in place and then being able to step a lot quicker through the journey.
And I guess that's the thing as well. Like, you do need some money to get started in a business. So it is a low entry point compared to what it used to be, but there is a cost of doing business, and it's figuring out, like where you're at, whether you can, invest in that at the start. But it definitely is a worthwhile investment to get going on there.
Absolutely.
Let's just talk a little bit about, how you design your websites, or sort of what are some key things because obviously, conversion rate we just touched on, but that is one of the things that I think is such a easy thing to track and monitor in your Shopify dashboard. And understanding what that is a really important, strategy, and knowing where that is and how you can improve that is a big part of the business as well.
Yeah.
Talk about what sort of, averages there are, or what are some key things to talk about in regards to that.
Look, I think when setting up your store, it's very, very important to think about, what theme are we going to be selecting, and, does it suit your brand and the niche? Recently we've also been working really heavily and monitoring every week the performance of the themes that are on the theme store. I will be able to drop a link later if you want, but there's actually a performance data table that you can look at with it comes from Shopify. It's updated every 7 days, and it's, how these themes are performing.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, I haven't seen that one.
When we're on sales calls, I often say to people, you can look at that theme store, and, there's now over 100. There used to be so much less, and it was a lot less daunting. Now you look on there and there's just so many, and you go, well, they all must be amazing, right? Because they got on there. Not necessarily so. We only work with really 10% of what's on there.
Yeah.
A lot of them are great. A lot of them just don't tick all the boxes. Some of them tick some of them tick others. So it's really working back. What are you trying to achieve? What do you potentially want to do? What kind of features and functionality you want to have? Where do you want the business and the store to go? And then working out a theme that's going to be right for you. And then again, once you start, getting into that, it's about making sure that your best practices are in place to make sure that theme stays fast. Because at the moment, once 2.0 rolled out with Shopify, the constant updates that have been happening, at the moment, they are very, very fast. The latest versions are very, very streamlined. The mobile optimization is beautiful, but it's about maintaining that, and making sure that that stays in place. So it's about, making sure what apps are you adding. And I always use the words, let's not get happy. And let's not just be like, we're just going to throw all these bells and whistles in and it's going to make everything amazing. And then a lot of people don't understand that by popping in an app, code gets spread through your theme. And then let's just say you go, I don't really like that. That was no fun. I don't want to use that anymore. And you delete it. You don't do it properly and uninstall it and then potentially reach out to support to get them to remove the app for you. Code stays in there and it keeps slowing things down.
Yeah.
At a goal, we want to be making sure that we really only have 10, maybe 15 at the most. Even 15 is getting pretty high. 5 to 10 apps in the back end. And it's ones that are actually moving the needle for your business. And things like that. And are we removing the apps properly to making sure that we're not clogging our theme down with apps that are slowing it down and theme code that's getting jumbled and slowing it down to make sure your theme stays optimized, because all of those things are really going to affect your conversion rate. And then just making sure, are you getting custom work done on it? Have you been getting things done? Is there extra code that doesn't need to be in there? Are you optimizing all the imagery that then goes inside your site? Are you making sure it's all optimized?
That's a huge one, which I think is...
we could talk another whole hour just on that one. It's massive. Yeah, it's massive. A lot of people just like...
Some of the size of the photos, I'm like, are you joking? Like, how massive is that file? Like, what are you doing? This does not need to be on here. Anyway, but there's a whole lot of... And I guess that's where... It depends on what your product range is too, and your mix, of course, because some people have very, limited products. They're just selling specific ones, or they're a brand that just has their own product. Others have got, hundreds and hundreds of photos and products listed. So then they have, 5 gen photos for each of those. And if they're way too big, then that's going to really impact it.
Yep. And I think it's about making sure that you're optimizing at every single point in the journey. So again, before you're putting these imagery into the back end, before you're loading them onto your products, before you're loading them into the theme, running them through a program to make sure that they're optimized, they're the right file size, they're the right file format, and just making sure everything's, as streamlined as you can possibly get it when you're adding it in. So those sorts of things are going to be really important. And
what about, what about people having older themes and like getting rid of all of that? Like, is that a...
So, week in and week out, it's, what we've been doing for the last 2 to 3 years is just constantly, we're getting these clients with older themes. We're either moving them from 1.0 to 2.0. One thing I'm massive, because every dollar counts, right? Every $100 counts for a small business. So, if you've got a very old theme and you reach out for some support and they're saying to you, we can spend this much and we can do this, we can do that, just be very, very conscious. We're very big on, one, the value of the money, right? Like we need to be getting really good value for what we're spending on support, but we can't band-aid solutions. Putting money into an old theme, especially when e-com moves so fast. So even a theme now that's a year old, we're saying it's pretty old. 2 years, we're getting ancient. Anything 3 to 4 year old, we're talking really old themes now because e-com moves so very fast. So we always say, our biggest best practice is if you come to me and, you got a 3-year-old theme, I'm not going to tell you to spend $1,000 and do X, Y, and Z to get it where it needs to be. We need to start again. We need to get a new theme, especially as I say, like the new themes right now that are being loaded out and pushed out there, they are beautiful and they're phenomenal.
So much more features.
And we can't band-aid those solutions. We can't build in those features and functionality. So just be very conscious about where you're spending your money and what kind of upgrade you're going to do. If you've previously purchased a theme, let's just say you have Impulse or Prestige, little hot tip there, those two are beautiful themes.
Yeah, I've had a few, I've suggested to a few people actually. That's funny.
You have that theme for life. So you have an update there in the background ready to go. If you are still on a 1.0, you will get a completely blank shell because the framework is very different now on 2.0. But if you're, if you've got a reasonably in the last year or two, you can get those, that update. You just need to potentially do a little bit of tweaking on the, maybe the formatting and a few little things. Any customization might not come across, but you should be looking to update, to the newer version every 6 to 8 months. But also what we say, and people don't realize that there's actually a change log. Every theme comes with a change log from the theme developer, and just, pop it on your bookmark. We always are tracking them, what happens every week. And just kind of have a look. If you see something and you go, there's been a whole pile of bug fixes in this one, or there's been a new feature rollout, maybe it's time to do it. Maybe you want to hold off until something happens and, because at the moment we're seeing new features roll out. So it could be a good opportunity when you see something new pop in and you go, I'm actually going to update that now because there's a great new feature in there that I want to use. So,
and making sure you get rid of all the old stuff in there as well.
And just, it's about clearing out. We're always saying to people, go into the apps. What's going on? Have you got a whole stack of 20 apps in there that you don't even use? Decluttering. Just like you do in life, minimalistic living, try to keep the same. Everything is compact down as you can just to make sure it's really optimized for conversion on that one.
And then in terms of some of the design, I know it obviously comes into the theme and stuff as well. One thing I I saw on your, websites that you've built, the big thing that I sort of just harp on about with, lots of my clients, like the first thing is like a call to action. Like so many people just don't even have shop buttons on their website. Like how many did you,
Oh my gosh. So the amount that I could say, so it's the rule of thumb, right? If I land on your site and within 2 to 3 seconds, I don't know who you are, what you sell, and an option to do something, you've lost me and you will lose everybody else. That's got to be the golden rule. As a prime example, let's just say we had a t-shirt store. If I'm landing and I'm seeing a picture of a mountain and I'm seeing no wording, and then I got to scroll,
the photos
like it's
wrong.
just irrelevant, right? It's just so irrelevant. So the simplest way I can explain it, we're selling t-shirts. When I land, I want to see a person on the beach wearing the t-shirt, having a fabulous time, looking amazing. The caption should be as simple as, we sell t-shirts. They are amazing, with a button to say buy now. It's that simple, right? Like it just needs to be that direct. So there's no excuse for not having it now. We have ChatGPT where we can plug in some conversation and ask for some really good pointers on brief power blurbs for our brands. But it's about very direct, and the other thing we see as a huge mistake is and I've got a pet hate against it, but CTAs, click to actions, our buttons with very weird conversation. Like, sometimes we've got sentences. Did you want to have a look? Did you want to view more? What do you want me to do? Do you want me to
click
read?
here or shop or
it's
action things. Yeah.
like we see a lot of view more. Do
It's
you want me to view more? What do you want me to do? I'm here to shop. I'm not here to read. So just making sure it's so super clear, because our brains are just in there looking for a directive.
It's almost people are afraid to sell, like they're like, oh, is it okay if I share this with you,
Yeah, we get people say, oh, and I say to them, first, after your hero banner and that brand blurb, straight away bestsellers, straight away hot ticket items, straight away new collections.
And you want to be able to buy from there.
Yeah, and they say, oh, but I don't want to put the product front and center. What are we doing? That's just like saying I'm going to open up a store down at the mall and I'm going to put it all at the back.
I'm going to hide
all the
everything.
product at the back, and you have to come in and ask me. Don't make me work too hard. People are in a hurry. People are shopping one-handed on their phone while they're juggling kids.
Distracted.
It's they're distracted shoppers. They need to be able to get in really quickly, have no blocks, understand what problem are they solving in my life, how much is it going to cost me, can I return it? All of these things really, really quickly.
Yeah, give them what they need to make that decision in terms of, as you say, trust that reviews, that contact, that refunds. I want to know, can I send this back?
Exactly.
I don't like it, whatever.
And, the hierarchy of our homepage and now the hierarchy of our product pages have never been so important.
Yeah.
Because there is a lot of noise, there's a lot of competition out there. And if you haven't leveled up and your product page is not on point, you will lose the sale. Again,
What do you feel? How do you feel about the drop downs in terms of? I was working with a client yesterday, and she has I think it was a broadcast theme, and essentially, you have that drop down of the fabric and care, all the different drop downs you could have. Is that a good part of your product page?
Absolutely. So the technical term is using meta fields.
So that's what we were setting up yesterday.
So we have the meta fields, right? They are super important because the best way I can describe it in a non-technical way is there's a lot of unsexy information that people may want, but they also might not want and not really care about, but you need to have it. It's important. So it's about when I see a product page and it's just paragraph after paragraph after paragraph of information, it's just too much. I don't want to know. I'm just way overwhelmed. I don't want to read all that stuff. No, I'm done. Whereas if I can just go in, get a little caption about how amazing it is, quickly I can see, because maybe I don't want to be a hand washing it, can I wash it in the machine? Perfect. I can do that. So if I'm able to get in and out of that information that I want really quickly, it's
so easily accessible, but not necessarily in your face.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's just making it look nice and tidy and organized and decluttered. Again, we come back to the decluttered word, but it's about making sure the information's available, but it's not in your face and I can get to it really easily. Because when we have it all dumped in the product description, which is the old way of doing things before metafields came along, you've got to really work really hard. You've got to look through, find the information. But if we can just have little tabs that have just blocks of information, maybe I'm really, really the kind of shopper that I need to know that I can return it, right? So can I drop straight into the returns tab and know that if I hate the product, I can return it for a refund? So it's about making sure every shopper has, no blocks in front of them, to adding to cart and getting to the purchase.
And how do you feel? Because I love them, but I don't know if this is about side carts.
So we're talking about the pop-out ones?
Yeah, the pop-out.
Yep. So you don't like them?
No, I love them. I hate it when there's not one there. I hate it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we should be moving. Everyone should be moving towards making sure that that's there because it's just a quick flash of the pan. There it is. I've added to cart and it enables me to just move through my journey a lot quicker. We don't want to, the less clicks, the better. That happens with everything, in terms of I don't want to have to add to cart, then go to my cart, then go back to the page for shopping. Oh, but I got thrown to the home page. Now I've got to go back where I need to be. Way too many clicks. We need to get where we want to get really quickly with just simple clicks, and the less the better towards checkout. Absolutely.
Yeah, I've said to a few people, because I buy a lot online, so I am an online shopper, and I definitely buy a lot on Shopify. And sometimes you've bought it faster than you realise, and you're like, oh, that actually checked out quickly because all your information's there.
That's it.
Everything's just in there already. They make it so fast to actually
Now with,
get out.
Shop Pay, everything's
That's right.
registered. Everything's there. It's you click it to the button, but that's what, customers are wanting. Again, it's one-handed shopping. It's shopping
Yeah.
on the go. It's shopping while you're in the
Yeah,
supermarket
no
queue.
one's stopping to go and get their wallet to find their card. Like,
No.
please, that's
Yeah,
just too
all
much.
those details. And if you are not at that level with your store, but somebody else is, your competition, who you're trying to, you will lose the sale. So unless you've leveled yourself to better than them, they will win the sale. And that's the reality right now is if if your store isn't optimized and it's not really at a point where the journey is amazing, customer journey is on point, and people are actually enjoying transaction, you're not going to get them back. And you can drag all the traffic that you want to the site, but you get one shot to impress. It's not at the local shopping mall where they may walk past again and then they're re-influenced because the shop window looks better. You get one shot. And if they come and they're not if they're turned off, they won't come back.
They won't come back.
Yeah.
And so just touch on you touched on it there, the hierarchy of the homepage. What else, like, would you say, like you've got your main hero, you've got call to action within there and a statement about who you are. Then you're going into your best sellers or your key pieces that you can shop straight away from that collection. What else comes in?
Yeah, look, making sure, again, so when we're starting at the top that we've got a nice announcement bar that's saying what my shipping's going to be and can I return it. Maybe you've got Afterpay, any other sort of sale going on up the top.
And high contrast, that's my other pet hate.
Oh, yes, we can talk about that in great detail, high contrast. And then making sure our navigation's on point as well.
Yeah.
So, I don't want to be seeing massive long lists of things. Think about how people are going to be shop and breaking it down from there. So making sure you're building out your mega menus to make it very, very easy. Let's not use all fancy words because your brand has fancy, descriptive titles. It's not about that. It's simple. Men's, women's, children.
Yeah,
pants, skirts, tops. It's not a flary navigation. I do see a lot of brands who want to add brand vibe into the navigation, and it's not the place to do it. We need to be able to get in and get where we need to go to. And then again, moving down, making sure that hero is really capturing. So many hero banners I see, they're just so just not applicable at all. So making sure that's there. And then again, don't be scared. Get your product out there. We're here to sell product. Product should be front and center. Making sure that, again, we're using features and functionality that convert. Has it got a hover over? Am I seeing second imagery when I hover over the product image? Do I have an add to cart quick buy that allows me to just quickly add some things as I go? And then making sure that, again, shopping by collection, making sure I can get where I need to get to. And, all the content in terms of the about us and stuff, yes, it's great, but it needs to be further down. I don't want to read too much. And again, don't put 5 paragraphs about your brand. It needs to be short and sharp with a directive to go somewhere else and read more if they want to. Making sure reviews are really, prominent on there. Have you got your review carousel? Are you seeing as the social proof there? And making sure our trust factors there with the trust badges, trust icons, whether it may, eco-friendly brand, eco-friendly packaging, free returns, satisfied customers, whatever it may be. So to make me understand as I go through the journey, I'm just feeling great about this. I really want it. I've got FOMO, and just making sure that you're capturing them at all the points. And then as you get further down, adding in your blogs, adding any other content that people might want to read. And the biggest mistake I see with the footer is when we get all the way down there, we just see some really boring, unsexy information. We see contact me, policies and things. So it doesn't give the customer the opportunity, if they have got all the way down to the bottom, you know what, I actually really like that handbag I saw right up the top. I want to get in and have a look at the bags. So making sure that down the bottom we have shopping opportunities as well. That's one of the biggest things I see is people just, having some really boring stuff at the footer, not having any links to social media, not having another little brand blurb that just reiterates who you are as a brand and what your unique selling points are. And the main thing is to add some sort of shop. Add your top 5 collections, add your top 6 products, whatever it may be.
Well, you've got an opportunity for 3 menus, right? So you can sort of have 3.
And most themes now we can, we can have 5 to 6 across there. So you can potentially having, one for shopping by collection, one with the top selling products, and then the other boring stuff that people might want to have, like the information policies and things like that. So going through, and if anyone wants to see some, some really beautifully built out footers, have a look on my portfolio. But go down the bottom, start looking at your competitors. What have they got down the bottom? How's it laid out? and making
Yeah,
sure that, there's a
absolutely.
sign up form there.
Yeah.
There's a discount carrot, I'm able to sign up and get my 10%, and it's
Mhm.
across the footer all the way through the store.
Mm. And I think that's it. Like, don't be afraid to repeat
Agreed.
things. I think that's sort of the thing here too. People think, oh, well, I've put my shipping at the top and I don't need to talk about it again. Or as you say, your menu's at the top and I don't need to put it there again. Or my
Yeah,
newsletter is, there. But yeah, like you can definitely have it in more than one
it
location,
is.
and often
It
that's
is.
needed for people to be like, oh,
Yep. And
okay, yeah,
I was
I do
reading
want to do
somewhere the
that.
other day that it's gone from needing 7 up to about 12 touch points now from a brand before we make a purchase. So, and it's the reiteration of those really important
Yep.
things. Like you just keep telling me free shipping over 50, free shipping over 50, free shipping over 50. And eventually I'm going to go, you know what? I need to spend $50 and I'm going to get these items for free. So, well, free shipping. So
Yep.
yeah, it's about really making sure all those, unique selling points of your business and your brand are really in their face continuously so that I'm not distracted by concerns or negative things against the conversion.
Yep. Amazing. And then
Mm.
just touching on the product page hierarchy. So in terms of the name of the product, is there any particular things that you would say
Really
there?
concise, really direct about what it is and nothing too flowery. We do see a lot of really descriptive product titles. And again, it's just so distracting. And now, again, with meta fields, what it's allowed us to do is to take some of that product description out and pop it straight underneath.
Yeah.
So we can set a product title meta description that then breaks it up a little bit. So, let's just say we see a lot of people putting descriptive stuff, whatever X, Y, and Z product for men, X, Y, and Z product, for healthy skin or for dry skin. So instead of putting those descriptives in there, we can now pop them into meta fields underneath as a secondary title. So really clear and concise so that people know exactly what the product is with not too much descriptum. And, the worst thing I see is when people are grabbing products from drop shipping or other sorts of places and they still just have like generic wholesale descriptors. It's so off-putting.
Yeah, the same.
So really start to look around at the bigger players, how
Well, there's like AI you can use to help with that too
and like
now,
let's
like
just say
the
you're a
product
skincare
descriptions
brand and you're starting up your skincare label. Everyone always says that they want to be like go-to skin, but go and look at her site. She is the epitome of what a skincare brand should be looking like. And have a look at what she's doing. Have a look at your bigger competitors because they're the ones out there making money and dominating the market. How have they set up their product pages and their descriptions and the product titles to really sell? And now we need.
I always use go-to as a reference of like her copy's amazing, the
And in our
formatting, I love it
questionnaire,
all.
when
It's so
clients come
good.
on board, and we always who's your brand crushes, 9 out of 10 times it'll be her, and but it's
Yeah. There's so much
absolutely,
personality in it as well in the
I always say
website
to
and
clients like,
copy.
don't be deterred. She's got money, she's got a person in every department, they're able to achieve all of that stuff, but there's a blueprint right there for you to then be able to grab things and adapt it to your own business and brand. To really level up what you're doing as well. Because again, it comes back down to the fact that there is a lot of choice out there and you want to make sure that yours stands out enough to grab that dollar.
Yeah, absolutely. And in terms of any particular apps that you think are like essentials or you think everyone should have or
as I mentioned before, we stand by Klaviyo in terms of a perfect pair to go with your email marketing. Again, there's same conversation we could have. Is it worth the money? Is it worth me investing someone to set it up? Is it worth the monthly fee? Absolutely. I don't think I've ever met a person who said to me Klaviyo was a waste of money, and it didn't, if done correctly, it's a powerhouse. And, most clients and brands out there, they're aiming to make 30% or 40% revenue just from that automated nurture, email marketing.
From email
so
marketing.
It's a massive topic. It's a huge thing, but definitely jump on board if you're not. Review apps, absolutely imperative. It's so important now to have that trust factor and people to understand that people enjoyed the product, people enjoyed the brand, the customer experience. Judge Me is a great option at a budget level. It does everything really well. If you're looking to level up and really have it branded and beautiful and a bit more of a powerhouse behind it, Akendo is amazing. So we work heavily with Akendo, and their widgets are beautiful. The way it works is really lovely. It's a little bit higher in budget.
I'll link all these for you
on
the show notes.
Hot ticket one at the moment, which we're actually promoting and we're popping into a lot of client stores. It's very much a hot ticket item at the moment, which is Tolstoy. So it's basically, it's the interactive
Yeah, I've heard of that
Shopperful
one.
videos.
Yeah.
It's all about utilizing UGC, and you'll see it across a couple of brands. I can again link a couple of clients so you can see it in action. But on the product page, we can have, a little widget that shows little reels. So let's just say you're selling an underwear brand, and you might have linked underneath the description. There'll be 4 little circles, and there'll be little reels of maybe someone in the underwear, someone running in the underwear, someone, stretching the product.
Mm.
But
Running
it's
in the underwear.
about showing it in real life. People want to see it.
And this is
They
the thing,
do.
people want to see it on, and because often I will go
see
to an
what's going on.
Instagram
Agreed.
to
Yep.
see the product in the flesh or on a different size
Absolutely.
model or whatever it might be. I want to see
and
it
it is a
user-generated, as you say.
game-changing technology.
And
We now live in a
safety that.
world where people are buying because of what TikTok said. People are buying because of what Instagram said, and the users on there. So it's about
Yeah.
making sure you incorporate that into your store. So
Yeah,
it
it's
is,
connection between them. Yeah, keeping people on your site so
And,
they don't have
it's
to
just
go
the
to
way
those
it
other
moves.
places to find
The
it.
technology is moving that way, and you've just got to adapt with it. So that's probably my hot ticket one at the moment, is using Tolstoy. Things like ReConvert, obviously, for, your post-purchase upsells and your in-cart upsells. It's really important now to get our order value up and to get that customer loyalty there. And, we don't want to just be selling one product when we could sell 3, but if you don't do that actively, and it's not really, really easy for them to add a couple of extra products at a discount, or know that, this actual t-shirt goes really well with these pants and looks great with this belt.
Yeah, I heard one of Selleasy, that I've heard of that one, like that. It sort
Selleasy
of
is
combines,
great.
like suggests
I actually use Selleasy
other
on my
people have
site
bought
to
together.
bundle a couple of downloads that I've got. It's a very, very easy app to use. Their support is brilliant for the cost. Just making sure that we're really up leveling what we're offering. We sell this, but it also goes great with this, and we'll give you a discount, because all of these things are going to increase.
Do you have a particular bundle one? Because I know lots of
Bundle
people
builder
ask
by
me that
8.
question as well.
So the developer is 8.
Yeah.
And Bundle Builder is probably the one we work with, a lot. It has beautiful bundles. I was actually just talking to a client today about getting their store set up with it. It works really well with, it's a brilliant, it's got a beautiful interface. And that's the other thing when we talk about bundles. On a quick side note, you want to make that journey really easily. Let's just say you sell one product or 2 products, and you want them to be able to pick a few different things or colors or whatever. That needs to be very easy. You don't want them going in and out of a product page and adding to cart. Oh, but if I buy 5, I get a discount. Okay, so I've got to go in and out. No, you just want it all displayed on one beautiful screen where they can just add the 5 items or add whatever the thing that you want to sell and bundle in one spot, and then it gets couponed up to the cart, and off you go. And that's what the bundle builder allows you to do. Make sure the customer journey is really on point for bundling. Having a confusing bundle or discount offer where it's more, verbal, written on there, and you've kind of got to think about it. It's too hard. People just won't do it.
Well, if they've got to take the action, it's probably not going to happen.
Bundle by 8 is great. And then another one we love is actually Lucky Orange, which is a great free plan, but so that you can get in and have a look at your heat maps, see what's going on with, do your session recordings, see what people are doing on your site, because
where they're leaving or where they're getting
stuff. We're very close to our brands, and we're very close to what we sell, and we've got emotion with our own businesses, and it's very different from a customer point of view. And a lot of clients really struggle to get into their customer mindset. What's actually working for them. You may have built your site and think it's absolutely beautiful, but it's confusing for the customer. You may find it fine because you built the brand, you built the product, you know what it is.
Well, you understand the story behind it, all the
so
different
being able to
dynamics of
see
what
actually what's happening for customers is going to be imperative to being able to make change, so that you're always leveling up, always understanding what's happening to the traffic, where are they dropping off, if they're all dropping off once they get to the checkout, why, what is happening there, what's the reason, the shipping, whatever's happening for them. Because we can guarantee you that when things are going wrong, 9 out of 10 people are not going to email you to say, actually, I had a really bad experience. I got thrown out of the cart. I tried to add a discount code, or maybe they do for that. But generally, any problems that they find, it was really slow to load on mobile, and then, then it was gone. No one's going to tell you that. So if you're not constantly checking and testing and finding out what's going on the back end for your customers, you're just losing potential sales on a daily basis. So always being, knowing what's going on your site is really important.
Yeah. And just on that, because obviously some of the numbers that you'll see on your dashboard are the add to cart, reach checkout, and then obviously purchased as a conversion rate. So what are some average numbers that you're seeing
Yep.
now
If you
of
really want,
those three?
conversion rates, it's a difficult one. And I will honestly say August has been really tough. We're getting a lot of clients messaging saying conversions are down, conversion rates are down. August has been tough. It's been really hard. But,
It has,
yeah,
I've heard it too.
Australia's just in a bit of a crazy time right now. But, you want to be having your conversion rates 1 to 2%, if not more. But you also need to look at your data. And again, ChatGPT comes in real handy for this. People aren't utilizing it as much as they can. You can have a conversion rate, but we need to work backwards. What are you trying to aim for? And then how many people do I actually need to get to my website to make that conversion? And that's the biggest mistake. I think people go, I've got a conversion rate of 1%, and I really want to make it higher. Okay, well, then what do we need to do number-wise to get those people to convert? And
some of them have got maybe 500 people. It's like,
it's not going to work. And so the conversion rate number is actually, it's a bit hit or miss in terms of, because you need to know your numbers more. Like, how many people do I actually need to get to the site? And as I say, ChatGPT is awesome. We've been directing a lot of clients, jump on there, put all your stats in there, and it will give you a stack of numbers to work towards. Because, driving, the more people you have coming there, the more chances of changing that conversion rate. And looking at your industry standards as well. The best thing I can say is when you're in those report screens and you're in there looking, there's so many more little tips and tricks now that Shopify's added. There's help little buttons, there's explainer buttons. Open everything up and understand it and know what it is. And if you still don't understand it, pop it into ChatGPT, put your own stats. That's another thing, put your own stats that you've got on your dashboard.
And talk about what product you
it,
have to compare the right.
Say, how do you think I'm doing? What can I do better to make my conversion rate 2.5? What do I need to do to get there? And you can put your own data in there, and it will work back and give you some industry standards and things like that. So again, you're only as good as what you're armed with knowledge-wise, and if you're not armed with all that understanding, it's going to be a real struggle. So I think that's the best thing I can say to people is start to understand and learn your numbers a lot more, and make data-driven decisions rather than just sort of going by how many sales did I actually make this month,
That's right. People are looking at the sales only and not, because I mean, that's the thing, like if everyone's, let's say we just talk about August, conversion rates down, is it all their numbers that have dropped off, or is it the conversion?
As you had,
as you
half
say,
the amount of traffic to your site. Okay, so is that because there's a problem?
Yeah.
Is there a problem on the website? Have you got broken links somewhere? Has something happened on one of your ads that's not working? And just stepping back all the way along. It's a constant process of, what's working, what's not, and where it starts to not work, how can we fix the holes in that bucket to make sure it does work?
Yeah, because it could just be like, your sales may be down, but because your average order's dropped or your, total sale, the units that people are ordering have dropped down as well. So it's maybe your conversion rate's fine, but it's actually
factors,
the
so many
average
factors.
order value will do.
It's hard, as a small business owner who started a store, like the amount of hats that you have to put on and wear are huge. There is so many different factors, and going into it, it's not for the faint-hearted because there is so many different factors to actually making it a success. But it's just taking the time to understand all the steps along the way to be able to scale yourself successfully.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the thing as well, managing your time in your business, because, a lot of people I work with as well, they're actually making their product too. So, but you can't spend all your time on that. Like, you have to make sure that you are allocating enough time in your week or day or what, however it looks, for sales, for marketing, for tracking your data and understanding what's going on, as well as the making. You cannot just be the technician who's making the product.
We also have the same with a lot of clients where, they're physically making the range, and it's time consuming because you've got that side of it, and then you're also customer service, and then you're also packing the orders, and then you're also trying to. So I think time blocking is really important on your week, understanding what you need to be doing in your business to move the needle. Every Monday sitting down and, laying out just 5 things that you should be doing each week, aside from working in your business, things that you can be working on your business to actually move the needle. And, if you've listened to this and you go, well, actually have no idea about my conversion rate. I don't know what that is. I don't know how much traffic I'm getting. Take it as a sign to go, okay, I need to know those numbers every Monday. Every Monday I'm going to sit down and look at those things.
Yeah.
And then maybe we can look at some other things each week to really move the needle. Things that you don't know, you need to understand to really work forward, get where you need to be. It's really important.
Absolutely. I've got a spreadsheet for that, like exactly what to track and each week in your business. So I'll put a link for that as well for people to have a look at. But yeah, absolutely. It's about selecting the time, but then the more you do it too, and the more you'll start to understand it. So it will take you, as you say, a bit of time at the start, but as you sort of each week of doing it, you'll start to understand and see these slight variations and what it may mean.
And then also know what you're looking at and what's good and what's bad. And absolutely, the more you do it, the better you're going to get at it. Just like when it was when you started your product range as well. Now you can probably talk the talk about it. Everything evolves, and it's a journey. It's a search journey.
Absolutely. And I guess that's where for you, like I'm sure you have a range of customers in terms of you've got people who are startups getting going, you've got people who've been going for a while, and you can help change and tweak and improve what they're doing. You obviously work on websites as well as the email, so then you can help people at all different stages of the journey, right?
We absolutely do. Some people come
need.
to us and they are completely non-technical, but they know what they want to do, right? They know where they want to get to. And then other clients we've got, they're right in there, they're just time poor. So we really work with everyone. And our biggest thing is, making sure we're giving overvalue to, we're not just about here's what we're going to do for you. We want to actually give you options about what you should be doing, whether you choose to do them or not, put them on a to-do list. So when we're, working on jobs and working on builds, we'll also make heavy suggestion about the direction or the things or the features or functionalities that you can be doing. And then it's up to you whether you decide to jump in and do them. Because again, it is a very fast moving ecosystem. Things are changing really quickly. And if you don't know what you don't know, you will get left behind. So just trying to make sure people are aware of what is out there, what can be done, what's best practice, and just making sure everyone's aware of how to level up and having opportunity to educate themselves on doing that,
Yeah, amazing. Thank you so much for sharing so much information here, Anna. You've been very valuable. How do people get in contact with you, and what's the best place to find you?
So you can jump on our website at houseofcart.com.au. I'm very, very active on Instagram, so you can check me out on there, send me a DM, and we connect. hello@houseofcart.com.au to email me. But reach out on any of my channels. I offer a free 15-minute call, so if anyone wants to jump on, chat about their store, chat about what's going on, let me know what their issues or problems are. Happy to chat to anyone to see how we can help in any way. You're welcome.
Thank you so much for that. And I look forward for everyone getting an improved website and emails going in the next little while.
The sales season as well. I hope everyone has an amazing sales season this year.
Yes, absolutely.
Thanks
All right. Thanks so much, Anna. Bye.